is my sweet spot.
Mhm.
I've tried to go up to 5 days. But the problem is after my third days, I found out that I had a big problem sleeping. I get into a hyperactive mode.
Yeah.
They call that the hunter-gatherer mode. You know, like your brain. I mean, it's amazing. You're
，UFO。
15 years ago, I was in Albuquerque, and we were on the road, and we experienced something that night.
We roll down the windows and we look out, and we just see like this, I mean, UFO.
Sort of coming towards us. Is it true or not? I want it to be true, but just because I want it doesn't make it true. It's all about an interpretation.
Mhm.
If you look at the Sumerian text, there's different interpretation. There's one interpretation made by Zechariah Sitchin that talks about the Anunnaki, that he believes that there was a race of aliens that were giant that engineered us, and it's in a nutshell. That's what he believes. But he was attacked by a lot of people, and a lot of people tried to debunk him. And some of the things he said turns out to be, some of the things he says, it's hard to dismiss. Now in the future, like, turns out to be real. Like I think the asteroid belt and the formation of the Tiamat, Marduk. So it's hard to differ what is real, what is not, and what is an interpretation, or I wanted to believe, but yeah, it's a trend amongst certain ancient texts.
Mhm.
The interpretation of certain ancient texts that maybe once upon a time it was like a giant,
Yeah.
but I think we need to have strong evidence. I know there's a lot of things online that says, oh, they found bones of giant, but man, why is it hidden?
Yeah, where is that?
Yeah, man, why you don't put it out? Like, and
Great.
there's a conspiracy, like, oh, they hide it. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know what.
Well, there's the Afghan giant. Was the Afghan? Remember that
Yeah.
story of like the
They're the soldier.
yeah,
Yeah, they all have red hair. I mean,
yeah, they shot down this 13-foot tall, like apparently killed one with a spear, and then they just mowed him down and helicoptered him out. What was interesting about that is that first of all, happened in modern, like,
or
also a plausible deniability.
yeah,
So there's a reason they don't tell the president, because if something comes out and the president during a press conference, they go, "Hey, what about UAPs?" He has to lie now in front of people, right? So it's better to not tell him because he has plausible deniability. He can say, "I didn't know," if anything goes wrong.
God, man, I want to believe, but oh man, it's hard. It's hard until you don't have the perfect evidence. But I want to believe, man. That's a problem. I want to believe, but that does not make it true. Sometimes when you want something to happen, you see it from your perceptions linked everything towards that, but that doesn't mean it's really what is happening. God, I really want to believe. And one guy because of the war, and I might be point out by a finger saying this, but fuck it, I'm gonna say one guy I would like to ask the question, and I think one person that would know the most of this answer is maybe Vladimir Putin.
Oh yeah,
He's in the KGB.
yes, and
I think he would know. If there's someone that knows a lot about this stuff, that would be him.
yes, 100%.
And I can promise you, if I ever meet him, I will ask him the question. I will, even if I look like an idiot, and I will freaking do it. And I don't know if I will be able to say what he told me if I have a chance. But man, that would be like, if I meet someone like him, I would freaking ask him. Like I would say, so, can I talk to you for a second one-on-one? I will. Maybe he's not gonna say it to me, the truth, or maybe he will, thinking that, oh, I'm gonna say it to him, because even if he comes out public, it's like maybe like the guys in Washington, maybe that's the way they were thinking, explaining to me the whole thing. It's like, oh, if he come out public and say everything that we told him, he's gonna hurt his credibility.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna say it regardless, unless he's a fool,
Yeah, or maybe it softens the blow. Maybe it's like, oh, let him say it first.
Yeah, but man, I'm not the one who's gonna say it. Now the people gonna think I'm brain damaged big time if I, you know what I mean? But that's fascinating.
Putin definitely knows, by the way, and so does the
Senior
president of China as well. And these guys have been in power for too long.
The president of China, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
So Putin, the president of China, is George Bush Senior still alive, right?
I don't think so.
Is he? I'm sorry for my.
I don't even know. That's a good question.
I'm
Maybe
not sure
that's
if
the Mandela effect.
he would maybe know.
Is George Bush Senior still alive? We're both Canadian, so we can be forgiven on. No, 2018. Yeah.
Paul Hellyer.
Yeah.
The former
Defense Minister of Canada.
Yeah, he came out publicly saying crazy claims. Like, and this is a fact. He says that we're not alone. There's even like
63.
that's freaking insane. Like, did he lost his mind, or does he have strong evidence, or he says that he
psyoped?
Man, it's hard to know now, but man,
there's
a lot of credible people that came out publicly. One of I think an Israeli,
Ayim Shed.
Yeah. Like, what is his position?
He was the Israeli space, in charge of the Israeli space program. He's the father of the Israeli space programs. He put up 13 satellites into space, and he was awarded the highest awards by military and civilian awards for some of his things. And the awards that he got in the military side are classified. We don't know why he got those awards, but he got the awards. We don't know what the awards are for. So he's a credible source. And
what did he say exactly? He says that there's a galactic federation.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like Star Wars, man.
Paul Hellyer said the same thing. And now, who knows? Because the other thing is, George,
crazy.
that we have to understand is that there are people who are fascinated with this topic that work in the government too, right? So they're human. These people, there are some people who want to believe that are in governments. These people aren't perfect. So, when I think of like even Stargate, there was General, I'm forgetting his name. He was a Stubblebine, and he loved the remote viewing stuff. He was like, but he loved it too much to where they were like, all right, we're going to make you retire now. Because it's like you're going in too deep. You want to believe too much, and now there's this bias.
It affects your judgment.
So Chaim Ashed is friends with Uri Geller. Very close friends, right? So in my head, that's a bit of a red flag for me. Even though Uri Geller, some of the claims he has, I believe could be true, I still think that there's this sensationalist ideology that might exist here that might skew a little bit of the information that they're given, and because they're in a position where we would trust them, they can say anything, and now we kind of take it as the word, right? And I think we need to be careful with that too, because I think in our government, especially in the Republican side of the government, there's a lot of faith-based culture.
Yes,
and so
dangerous.
Yeah, and so when you're talking about NHI and all of this, it gets to a place where some of them want to believe more than others.
Yeah.
And we just have to be aware of that too. So it's like, yes, on one hand, it's very hard to get clean information.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the best thing that we can do, you and I and the people watching, is try these things for ourselves. Try remote viewing, try out-of-body experiences, go into a field and try to CE5 a UFO, or, do these experiences yourself, because no matter what I tell you, no matter how much data I show you or what type of trick I can do for you, it's not going to convince you unless you see it yourself, right?
One of the arguments that a lot of scientists will say to counter the existence of NHI, non-human intelligence, that would be like, oh, where are the evidence, the cell phone? I'm like, there's freaking tons of it, bro. There's tons of video that people film the orbs, but all those videos, they're not clear. Like, they're not like if I would film you like this, like they're sort of blurry. Or if you look at the UFO, most of the time you see the edge is sort of blurry, and the explanation, according to ufologists, they would say, oh, it's because the distortion of space and time in which these vehicles are functioning with. I'm like, shit, I want it to be true, man. I will continue my quest in the pursuit of truth, but frick, man, it's hard to know. It's hard to.
It's fun.
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But talking to a lot of the people in that field, through all these years, I mean, apparently there's two schools of thought. There's a group of people that really want full disclosure on that matter, because they're concerned. They have kids. They're concerned about the future. And a lot of the guys in Washington have talked, they want full disclosure. And there's another group apparently too that do not want disclosure, because a lot of people, they harm a lot of people, and they will be accounted for a lot of the pain, a lot of the things they've done. And I hope it's not the case, but maybe we will have to wait until those people that are accounted for the harm they've done passed out before we move to a full disclosure. I don't know, but
yeah, like there's the cover-up is covering up the crimes.
Yes, like a little bit like the JFK file that soon will be probably public. They say one of the arguments I think is Trump was saying is he needs to wait that all the people passed out, because a lot of harm has been done. But you don't want to tarnish the reputation of a living person. You want to wait that it's finished until you. I mean, is it true or not?
But you also have the families of those people, like the Bush family is still around.
I don't know if it's Trump who said it, or if it's someone that said it, that he said it. Like that's the consensus on it. But is it the same thing with disclosure? Because if you dive into this thing, and from I've learned, a lot of people got hurt, man. They did a lot of bad stuff to acquire knowledge and control. And if the whole thing is real, it's freaking dark, man.
Yeah, dark, scary. I mean, there's the one thing I always come back to that always like kind of glitches in my head is like the people who want to know want everyone to know. And then the people who know want no one to know.
Yeah.
So if I take that information, I look at it and I'm like, what is so bad about the information that once you understand what it is, you don't want anyone else to know about it? And that's a scary thought experiment to be like, damn, what could that be? Yeah. And you know what I keep thinking back to, and more as this goes on, is like, you see Three Body Problem?
No.
So Three Body Problem is a book that they did, which eventually turned into a Netflix thing. And it's the idea that this civilization that is far away receives a signal. And it's kind of like the alone in the forest theory, where like, you don't want to make noise in the forest because if a predator.
When did you get wind of that, and what actually happened?
Last night, I had a message to say that he's in hospital, turned his ankle over on a run, and gutted, really. Like, gutted for him, a freak injury, and yeah, the fight falls off the card.
Berlanga comes in 2 pounds, just around 2 pound overweight.
Disappointing. 1.6 pounds over. Fight goes ahead. They did a deal privately between them, and yeah. Disappointing to miss the weight, but fight goes ahead tomorrow night. And a big fight for him. It's actually a dangerous fight. Gonzalez don't look much on the scales, but he's never lost. He's a tough kid, and for one time, he was really considered to be a top middleweight prospect in the making.
We've seen, we covered a good bit yesterday about the card, but we've seen a Nguyen Cardenas announced. Disappointed that it's not MJ?
Not disappointed, because we're in negotiations with Team Inoue to do the Akhmadaliev fight. So I don't think that if we don't get the fight made, then the fight won't be for the Undisputed Championship between Cardenas and Akhmadaliev. The only way it can be for the Undisputed Championship is if we agree a deal, and we're not stepping aside for the fight. You either sign to fight Akhmadaliev, or we're not interested in a few quid to wait. Do you know what I mean? So, but all the conversations have been fantastic, and I believe we're going to get a deal done.
We've seen last night, I believe the promoter of Mbili, I have the Tiger Promotions, have tweeted to say that Pacheco and Mbili is underway, negotiations underway. Pacheco's agreed. What can you tell us about that?
That's correct. We have an issue at the moment where we are going to be mandatory with the WBO. And I think that's a great spot. We've now also been asked if we want to fight for the interim championship at the WBC. We're in negotiations with a few fighters to fight in June, but we like the Mbili fight. So what we've done is we've accepted the negotiation period, and we'll talk to Team Mbili to make the fight. We want to make that fight in Los Angeles in the summer. Obviously, they want to make the fight in Canada. But we'll see. Hopefully, we can make a deal. And I think that's a tremendous fight. If not, we'll revert and go along the original plan. But, you know, the plan is to get Diego Pacheco in a mandatory position.
The Hackett fight that's fallen through, is it likely to land on the Boots undercard now, maybe?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if he's turned his ankle over, that fight's in 4 weeks. So, no.
When will you do? Will you run it back? Will he maybe not get the opportunity to avenge that loss?
No, I'd like to. But obviously, unfortunately, when you miss this is a conveyor belt.
Here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hers is over there.
Yeah.
And that's why the Lord actually called you to marry someone else. Like Abraham and Sarah were always meant to go be together.
Right.
Their purposes completely aligned.
Yeah.
You even saw that when he brought Hagar. He was like, hey, can the promises come through Ishmael?
Right.
And the Lord was like, no. I said the promises going through Sarah.
Let's be honest here, bro. Like the average black woman's 187 pounds. They have fake hair, loud, obnoxious, rude. When they did like studies polling customer service, the least desired customer service rep would be like a black woman. And then when you ask customer service people, hey, what's the table that you want to wait on the least? They said black people and black women especially. Everything I say is factual. They just don't like it because it's like, oh my God, who even gets stats like that? It's the truth, man. Let's be honest here though, bro. Like the average black woman's 187 pounds. They have fake hair, loud, obnoxious, rude. When they did like studies polling.
Interesting.
Realistically, when do you feel there would be a woman in F1?
We'll start off with the reason why I don't think there has been recently. And it comes down to the physical element of driving a single-seater. F4 is not particularly physical, so girls tend to do all right in F4. If you look through like Spanish F4, F4 is not an issue for girls. You go to F3, it becomes quite physical in terms of the G-forces are not too bad, but the actual steering input and then when the aero kicks in, it's really, really heavy. But some girls can kind of be all right. Chadwick, bit of an example.
Girls lack biologically to men is upper body strength, isn't it?
Upper body strength and like just bone density and size as well. Like
helps with weight.
It does. Oh, yeah. We're the perfect size in terms of like being small, petite. Just things are made for men. Like the steering wheel is now fatter. But for girls, if you've got smaller hands, like it's harder to hold. And
Realistically, when do you feel?
Makes sense. That's good, right?
You did a video about being in a fat suit.
Yes.
What did you notice about how people judged you?
Dude, it was crazy. So like the first few hours, it's obviously like tiring to be in that all day because it's heavy and you're in prosthetics. But I genuinely wanted to do it to see what I've never been over obese or like fat. You know, I've been husky for a bulk, but like that's it. Nothing where people look at me and be like, whoa, he's fat. And being in there all day, like when I went to a mall and people will look because I got a camera. It was crazy. So obviously like I find my future wife is beautiful. I'll say that with my chest up. So a lot of people will look at her when I'm with her now and not in a fat suit. People, men will walk by and, look at her. Women will walk by and look at her because she's an attractive blonde girl. And when I was wearing the suit, we went to a mall together and like held hands and we're walking and you could see like people looking at her and then me like, what the fuck? How, like, cause I to a standard Western society, it's, maybe it's unattractive to look the way I did. And then to be next to a really beautiful woman, that you could see the confusion in their eyes. And I was like, damn, people really are
I just think
judging.
every time I see that, I had to say, usually it just means that guy has massive game.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
That's massive.
Massive game.
Huge.
Yeah, I'd say by the end of the day filming, I literally had like way less confidence and I felt like a slum of depression. Not real depression, but just like, I don't know, I just felt down about, normally I'm upbeat filming and I'm having a good time, but I felt like I filmed for 3 days straight and I didn't. And I was like,
do you think maybe that's your mood wasn't as high when you're in the fat suit, that maybe you felt a bit self-conscious and that's coming?
Yeah.
Or no, do you think
I would say that I definitely, like, you could, I don't know, I feel like when I walk around, people know that I'm a confident guy. Whether you see my body or not, I mean, I still walk with my confidence, and I'm smiling, I'm a happy dude. But when I'm walking around not as that, it's like the vibe from everyone else definitely affected me.
So you feed off the vibe of others.
Yeah. And I could feel the judgment. I could feel the just like, damn, I'd rather not be here. Like, not be in this environment.
Yeah. But you also went to a fat camp. What was the thing that was the most surprising from that?
That was a really unique experience. I brought someone that I'm a friend with, that I'm friends with, named Rudy, and he's done a fair transformation. I met him when he was like 620 pounds, bedridden, probably going to die. Like he would say this too. Like he literally was on his deathbed, maybe a month away from probably eating himself to death, and he was drinking a lot too. I had no idea who he was. I met an Uber, told him why I was there. I was in the most obese city in America. He brought me there, and then he's like, "This is my friend Rudy. Like, give him some advice." And because this is his friend, he wants to try to not let him die, and Rudy then saw the video, all the positive comments, like, "You can do it, Rudy." So that positivity really sparked him to make a change. He dropped like 150 pounds in 6 months. I started chatting with him again, and he's like, "Hey man, I've lost all this." I was like, "Holy shit, like what?" And he's like, "Dude, yeah, after the video, I really want to make a change." So then I brought him to another place. It's a fat camp, but like it's just like a weight loss center. You can go there if you are jacked and want to just go train, and it's kind of like a training rehab place. I don't know. Okay. And we go there. They teach us all. I already know all this stuff mostly, but they taught us all about your body, your fat loss, things that hurt fat loss, and it was good to educate him. But it was really interesting to see, like, because everyone's there for a common goal. I feel like their guard wasn't up, and kudos to the place. I think it's Fit Farm in Tennessee, and so like their guard wasn't down to like. Because let's say it was one obese person and like 10 fit people in a non-safe setting, they're going to feel like an outcast. But a lot of people were all on different levels. Some people were fit. Some people were really overweight. Some people were in the process. Some people lost 200 pounds already. Wow. So it's kind of like this place that was really safe. And I think the coolest part was just that everyone was just super, super eager to like help each other.
So why do you think we have an obesity epidemic?
America's access to crappy food is so high. Like it's so easy to get bad food. It's cheaper. It's marketed to you in a way where you just like they literally will, they'll go into stores wearing eye trackers and track where people are looking and then make decisions off that to alter where things are and alter the packaging and stuff. It's like really intelligent people are marketing and manipulating Americans, and we're all falling for it, whether you're fit or not. And I think the barrier to entry is so low to get bad food that it's just like, if you only got $5, are you going to go to Chipotle and get half a bowl? You can't, But
is that the problem, or is it some sort of like food addiction that certain people have? Because that seems
there's a lot of problems to it. There's a lot of people that have food addiction. Most of the time people are overweight because they're literally addicted to food, or they're depressed and it's the only thing that makes them feel like there's always a deeper reason. They're not just overweight because they're like, hey, I want to be overweight. Like no one's overweight because of, that's why I made a video about is being fat a choice. And afterwards I've realized like kind of isn't. I think it kind of can be, but it also isn't at the same time, where like Mike is telling me a great point. He's like, when you go in your closet and you pick out a purple shirt, you actively made a choice that day to wear a purple shirt. But if you went up to an obese person and said, hey, take this pill and you'll lose all your...
What up? This is much more, how do you say, him and Gabriel alla Romani. He's really good. That's a good question. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but the thing is, you need to be unique, man. You need to be authentic. That's the best way. How to be authentic? Be religious. Be a Muslim. Now, just be just the best way. That's basically like be your authentic self, right?
Here's how you can check if you're good at something or if you're shit at something. People ask me this all the time. Aryan, can you check my portfolio? Can you check my work? I want to know if I'm ready to start looking for clients. Am I good enough? Usually, if you gotta ask me this, the answer is no. You gotta get your shit together, because if you actually were really good, you would probably know it, okay? But if you really can't figure it out, here's a little analysis you can perform on your work to find out if you're any good or if you're shit, okay? I was just walking around town and I saw this poster, okay? And they got these little fucking perfume bottles all over town now, Galileo, whatever the fuck. And I took a picture of it, and this is what you should do if you're walking around. Pay attention to what's around you. If you're doing product visualization, look at product visualization works around town, on the bus station, on the fucking building, on the television. If you're doing architectural visualization, go to the internet, type in architectural visualization studio in your city or in your country, and check their works, okay? And now look at your work, or try to recreate what they did, so you can try and compare your skill to their skill, all right? If your work looks like theirs or better, there's your fucking answer. You're good. If your work looks shittier than theirs, then you gotta get your shit together, okay? So now the next question is, how do you do this? How do you get to the level where you can make something that they got on the poster, or this is the top of the game, okay? How can you do this stuff that the people at the top of the industry are doing? Because somebody paid this guy to make this product visualization poster so they can put it all over town, okay? Here's what you do. You take your work, let's say you try to recreate that fucking poster. You look at your work, you look at their work, okay? And you've got these thing called eyes, okay? I don't gotta tell you this. For the most part, you can figure this shit out yourself. You look at your work, you look at their work, you take a pen, you take a piece of paper, and you write down the differences that you see between these two pictures. A 10-year-old child can probably do this. A 5-year-old child can probably do this. My grandfather can probably do this, okay? And you make a list of all the little differences. For example, he's got pretty reflections. He's got a nice gradient in the background. His color scheme looks nicer. The text on his fucking poster looks better than mine. Okay, make a list of all those things and change them. Literally copy exactly what they're doing, and you're going to be able to figure it out for the most part. If you can't figure it out, the first thing you should do is remember that you have this thing in your pocket, which has literally all the information that humanity has ever produced available right now. Within 5 seconds, you can Google anything. There's a million different fucking tutorials, forums, and all this shit. You can find any answer, you can find any tutorial for anything. If you still can't figure it out, if you're trying to make your perfume bottle, you can't find a fucking tutorial for the water underneath or something like you have in this poster. If you really tried looking for it, now you can go and reach out to somebody and ask for help, or maybe go post on a forum, or you can send me a message and I can help you. Because for the most part, people come and ask me questions when they've clearly made no fucking effort to try and find the answer themselves. And now I'm supposed to write paragraphs to you to give you some feedback when I can literally just Google it for you and the answer's right there, but you didn't think to fucking Google it. So for the most part, just use your common sense, use your fucking eyes, compare your shit to somebody else's. Try to look at people who have what you want, and instead of being jealous, instead of hating on them, instead of having all your confidence drained out of you, like some people do, they see me doing something, I don't know. Oh, this guy's so good, I can never reach this level, and he quits, and he goes to play fucking video game. Well, how do you think I got this good? What, I got 4 arms? You got 6 eyes? What, you don't have fucking fingers? Even if you don't have fingers, you can probably use ChatGPT or some other AI to control the computer for you. Well, what's the difference between me and you? We're both human fucking beings, okay? I'm doing something different from what you're doing. You gotta identify what that is, and you gotta learn that, and you gotta apply that to your work. And that's how you get fucking good.
Should we fight the chicken? I want to fight the chicken.
Thanks for the ride.
Basilisk. I thought a basilisk.
It's got to tell me not to do it. Johnson got on the line.
And he said no.
You're not allowed to help the Liberty. I don't care if the sailors are dead.
You literally said that?
Yeah. So I could care less. I could give a GD if a few sailors die.
So, when you guys are getting attacked, yeah, I would say we were the first really big platform to have on Phil Turney. And Candace had him shortly after this. I hope. I mean, I'd be happy if we were, were a part of the influence for her to have him on. I hope she saw this show. Maybe she did, because we had him on first. But hey, as long as the story gets out there, I don't give a shit about the views, bro. You guys have, but shout out to you guys in the chat saying that Myron's a trendsetter. I appreciate that. What was going through your head when you guys were getting attacked? Who did you think was attacking you at that moment?
We thought it was Arabs because we didn't know it was the IDF. They blacked the markings out on their airplanes. They were all black.
Yeah.
So we had no idea.
No clue.
That's crazy that they blacked out the fucking.
When the message out by unknown jet aircraft.
Okay, the distress signal from you guys, from Rockstar to everybody else, is we're getting attacked by unidentified aircraft.
Right.
Blacked out. We don't know who they are.
Right.
Wouldn't they care about the spies on the boat for the intel that they have? Wouldn't he want the intel, the president, from the spies or no?
Well, I don't think he cared about the intel or anything else. I think,
and that comes back to what Clayton Morris was saying, that they sent them out there to be killed.
Yeah. Well, to put it bluntly, we were set up.
Now, I don't need credit, chat. I don't give a shit. I'm just happy that he was able to get on Candace and wake people up. Because like I said before, this comment section speaks fucking volumes. The fact that all these people got awakened, and notice how the foreigner said, I've known about this, but the Americans didn't. That's a W for me. I just want Phil Turney to fucking be everywhere.
Our own government be